And over here we have train tracks. Oh, that was lucky. Hey, it's like an abandoned dress shop. Hi guys, this is Walker. I'm greeting you once again from Thailand on a very bright and sunny morning. And I found a relatively quiet neighborhood here in Bangkok where I can film the streets without bothering too many people and slowly show you guys some new English vocabulary and grammar. Now, as always, the video is going to start at a beginner intermediate level, and by the end, I'll be speaking how I would speak to any of my close friends in America. So notice, as the video goes on, if you start missing words or not quite understanding what I'm trying to say, and pause the video when I introduce new words and make a note so that each video helps you to lock in or acquire new vocabulary, new grammar, and new expressions. So good luck and enjoy my walk around Bangkok, Thailand. So here we are on a busier street. Sadly, it's not that great for walking. You can see I'm right next to traffic. So I have to be careful and make sure that these motorcycles and cars don't hit me on the shoulder as they go by, because I'm a pretty large guy. I'm 6'2" or 186 centimeters and big, so I gotta be careful and make sure a car window, or excuse me, one of the car side mirrors doesn't hit me. But strangely, despite all this traffic, all the cars passing by, the actual street is really quiet. Many of the restaurants aren't even open. There's obviously no one walking here but me. You might notice my name is Walker. That's my actual name. And I often find myself as the only person walking here in Bangkok, because it's not just for the videos. I really love exploring hidden parts of the city, or sometimes just walking where people don't expect you to walk, so I can find hidden alleyways, side streets, historical buildings, you know, old buildings. I'm always looking for these things, and usually I find them. So this street, I've been down before, and sadly, it's not very good for our purpose, right? Our purpose is to learn new words. And here, there's not much there except walls, asphalt, the street, gates, houses, buildings, power lines. There's really not much happening on this street. It's just residences or houses with walls protecting them or separating them from the street. So we'll move on and keep walking forward. Luckily, because there's not many people out, I can film without too much embarrassment, without feeling too silly, because it's a little awkward to be filming like this as people pass you by. Feels a bit strange. I'm still not used to it. Maybe I will be one day, but I still want to be polite. Now, sometimes these buildings in Thailand, they look a bit old, they look a little bit rough. And actually, in many cases, they're not really that old. It's just that Thailand has such a wet climate that things wear down quickly, right? You can imagine the sign. It's getting rained on so many times that in just a few years, it looks like it's 40 years old and not 4 years old. But on the other hand, certain things are built here that match the environment, and so they look beautiful no matter how old they are. Now, I'm not sure what this thing is. I don't think it's a temple. It might be a house. It might be a museum. But it looks brand new, right? Like the wood looks totally fresh and perfect. You see all these things going by. Those are called tuk-tuks, but you probably already know that. You could also call them tricycles, right? Because 3 wheels, tri. There are many words like that in English: trifecta, tripod, tricycle. And here we have another street that's not really great for walking. It's just walls. Lots and lots of walls. Oh. Here's an English challenge. Do you know what this is called? Mortar and pestle. I see that some of my Thai friends know words like this from video games, right? Because in fantasy video games like World of Warcraft, they have objects like this. So, mortar, pestle, you know, you use it for crushing plants and spices for cooking. Some alcohol on sale at a bar here. Some street food. And guys, you'll see here we're entering an even more narrow and dangerous place for walking. There's no space for me at all, so what do you think I should do? I guess I need to wait for these guys and then cross to that side. And I need to do it quickly. This is when vlogging becomes kind of dangerous, because the cars aren't slowing down for me at all. Probably because I have a camera, they think, why should we slow down for this American vlogger? Fair enough. We'll get over there eventually. We just need to make sure our timing is right and our situational awareness. Situational awareness is what we need in this case. Okay, so I'm gonna actually go down this way and cross to the right when I get the chance. Step up on a really tall Thai curb and continue on our way. Wow, do you see this? Such a grand light or light fixture. I think you see those anywhere you go in Thailand. They're always fancy metal fences and walls and light fixtures. Oh, and some interesting wall art, though I think it's not wall art, right? I think that was put here to hold up lights or to help plants grow up the wall, but the plants died and the lights went away. So all we're left with is one beautiful climbing tree and a lot of weird metal shapes on the wall. This street also looks like it's not that interesting for walking. Here we have an Italian restaurant with some high tables and barrels out front. I've never eaten here. It looks pretty good. I just don't come to this area because it's so unpleasant for walking. I think it must be hard for these businesses because this neighborhood is known for being walkable. One of the most walkable areas in this part of Bangkok. But this street is just so, it feels like I'm in America again. Like this is the Cars world and I'm just a guest on the street that was made for the cars, not for me. Specialty chocolate bar though. I stopped to get a smoothie, to tell you guys the truth, because it was getting so hot. A delicious green detox smoothie. You know, that classic food for influencers, the avocado toast, the green smoothie. You drink that and you feel completely ready to shoot your YouTube video. At least that's how I feel. You notice all this fake grass, also called AstroTurf in America. I think the company that makes it is called AstroTurf. And it's really popular here in Bangkok. It's the go-to way of making a space look a little bit nicer. Like the gardens, the rooftop garden of my condo has lots of this fake grass. You see there's a patch of it right there. And it's just a space for 2 benches, but they put the fake grass anyway, just to make it look a little bit better. A little bit more like a fine coffee house. And it works, right? I think they're right. Patch of fake grass is better than nothing. This street, sadly also not very interesting looking. This coffee shop looks nice though. You can usually tell by the architecture and if it's set apart, right? If the coffee shop stands on its own like this and like is its own building, it's probably going to be quite fancy, quite expensive, quite pretentious, or quite delicious. You don't really know until you try. Ooh, interesting little alleyway. Now, as we proceed, we get a little bit of a sidewalk here, a classic 7-Eleven. You've probably heard there's a 7-Eleven about every 100 or 200 meters here in Thailand. And if there isn't one yet, there will be one very soon. You know, there's nothing on that street, but for some reason I wanted to walk down it anyway. Ah, okay. Now I know where we are. You can see up ahead there's a highway going across. I've been here before to get my ears checked, to go to the ear doctor, or the ENT, we call it. The ear doctor in US English is the ENT, ear, nose, and throat. Which is very helpful because I don't know why. The ears are very delicate, right? It's easy to get an ear infection or hearing damage. So here we have the Treasury Department. So I noticed that in this area, there's a lot of government offices for finance, like the tax office, the Treasury Department, the Ministry of Economics. All of those things are in this area here in Bangkok. And so we have a lot of very serious middle-class people in this area with, you know, very important jobs, I suppose. Wow. This area really is the king of the, like, tunnel of cement walls. Like, it's so empty and desolate that I want to walk down it. I just don't think I would be able to introduce much English to you guys. What could I say except there are cement walls or concrete walls and an asphalt ground and a lot of sunlight, and that it's really hot. There's not much more to say on a street like that. You notice the black and white here? That's to honor the Queen, who sadly died a few months ago. So there's still lots of black people wearing black, black screens on billboards to honor the memory of the Queen, especially in an area like this, right? That's full of government buildings. So I found something interesting. I'm here in the headquarters of the Ministry of Finance. We have a yin yang on the ground, and here a statue to King Chulalongkorn, I believe, who was the king from around 1850 to 1910 and was extremely important in the history of Thailand, modernized Thailand, and so probably created the Ministry of Finance. And so here's a beautiful monument to him. And down here, a small Buddhist shrine. Quite a nice one. I really like this architectural style with the white marble. elegant and simple, but still distinctly and definitely Thai in the way that it's, I notice Thai style is often very pointy. They have points on things, on the columns, on the rooftops. And through those points, you can identify things as Thai very easily. You can tell it's Thai. So, nice little discovery here on our English walk. Oh boy, here's the stuff I like. We've got a bridge going over a canal. We've got a gigantic pipe coming up. We've got the highway, a pedestrian bridge, right? Pedestrian is someone that walks. A bridge for walkers like me. The bridge coming over and coming all the way down here. So we can explore if we're determined, if we set our minds to it. Some people say Bangkok isn't that great for walking around, but actually, there's usually a way. If you don't mind the heat, there's almost always a way to get where you want to go, as long as you're willing to climb pedestrian bridges like this and go over canals and go around things, go around obstructions. Now in Malaysia, where I was a couple months ago, the situation was much worse. It was almost impossible to walk where I wanted to go. So I had to get very creative and take a taxi across the bridge, then get out of the taxi, then go into a tunnel, then go into a mall. It was very difficult to plan my walks in Malaysia, but that made it interesting. Quite a nice view here with the reflection of the clouds and the water. A smaller bridge down that way. The two highway, what should we call these? An overpass, I suppose. Two highway overpasses going down along the river. And here, so many choices. Should we go down here? Should we continue to cross over the highway? Or should we go down here? What do you, wow, it's so loud. What do you guys think? I think we should go this way. I think we'll see the most if we're over here by these buildings. Luckily, this area also has a lot of trees. Not all of Bangkok has that. So we actually have some shade, which is why I'm able to walk around here for hours and hours. And look, we're at the level of the flowering purple trees right here. I guess we could climb down this way if we really wanted to. One time when I was walking here, a lady was on these stairs and she had a bag of like 12 fruits and they all fell out and tumbled down the stairs. And so I helped her chase them down and collect them. And she was so thankful. And I expect that'll be a funny memory for her of the time when, right when she passed by this big foreigner, her bag exploded and her and this random foreigner had to chase her fruits all down the stairs. She also looked extremely embarrassed, but I didn't mind. Just a chance to practice my Thai and do a good deed. Oh look, here we have one of these covered futsal arenas, or I guess you could say facilities. Looks like it would be pretty painful if you fell, but there's always people using them, right? It's much more practical than a full football field in a place like Bangkok where there's not that much space. And unlike in the US, it all gets used. Every single basketball court and futsal facility and soccer field, it's always being used. You never see them just sitting there, except in the middle of the day like this, when everyone's at work. I think we'll make a left here. The street looks pretty lively. Looks like there's some things going on. And I've never been down this way. I hope that we'll come upon another place for me to stop for a drink, because it hasn't even been 40 minutes, but I'm melting out here in the sun, guys. I'm from Florida, but even then, the Thai heat is a powerful enemy. It wears down the best of us, and even Thai people. I think that's a funny thing people might not expect, that it seems that Thai people walk the least. Many of my Thai friends have said that they know foreigners have a penchant or a tendency to walk everywhere, and it kind of annoys them. Like, they would rather take a taxi or a train, whereas foreigners are always saying, oh, let's just walk it. It's only a mile. Where I think people in Bangkok are much less likely to say, oh, it's only a mile, let's just walk. For them, a mile is like, wow, definitely got to call a Grab. And a Grab is an Uber here in Thailand, or a taxi that you order with an application. And when ordering a taxi is only $1 or 60 baht in Thai currency, it's easy to see why people would rather not walk. But for me, it's my namesake. I have to walk, right? Cafe Amazon here is sort of the local Thai Starbucks chain, and I like it. I see that they're sort of doing the same thing as Starbucks, and that they're trying to make each location have its own character and be interesting, and they're actually opening like a really big one, a flagship location near where I live, and it looks awesome. Looks like it's going to be rainforest themed, but in the futuristic Thai style. I can't wait. There are not enough cafes near me. We could always do with more. So here we found what used to be a Thai restaurant that has since then burned down or fallen down and fallen into total neglect and disrepair, and sadly become a dumping ground for to-go boxes. It's weird, right? It's once people see one of these, then it becomes the place where everyone dumps them over time. And the barbed wire isn't enough to stop them. And over here we have the train tracks. Oh, that was lucky. I just panned over to it and a train came rumbling down immediately. Especially because I have never seen or heard a train like that go through Bangkok before. Not that I'm usually in the right areas, but I do know where the train tracks are. But seeing one of those trains go by is not common. I guess that's the magic of shooting a vlog. Things start to happen once you turn the camera on. It's difficult walking here, these trees overhanging everything. I'm pushing through as best I can, but luckily it's shaded. For some reason, a lot of these buildings are in a rough state. And it's also where all of these buses are parked. This is kind of strange, right? We have bus after bus after bus parked here beside the land of fallen buildings, though they're repairing that one at least. Tight squeeze here. I wonder if these are basically taxis for the workers here in the government departments. If they all get brought here from other parts of the city. Because it's really a lot of buses. Or maybe they're waiting to take people home at the end of the day. I don't know. I'm staying on this way because I don't want to rudely film any guys just chilling on their day off with their shirts off. I feel like that's private. Hey. Hey, but hey, some people love it. That's the best part of Thailand right there. The unexpected smiles, the sort of trust, right? That they trust that you're not up to anything bad. You're just shooting a silly YouTube video. So why not smile? Which is why we need to not betray that trust. But dang, it is both a great place to walk and a terrible place to walk. It is all sort of urban decay, trees busting out through the sidewalk. I have to watch every step, guys. I hope my camera works decently smooth because I really have to make sure I don't fall into one of the gaps between the sidewalk or these piles of leaves. I also need to not step too far out into traffic when I go around here. You see this truck here with the cage, right? These are usually for transport. They put benches in there and there. It's all over the world. And a cage here, and that's the cheapest form of taxi. When I lived in Chiang Mai, Thailand's second largest city, I would take these sometimes, and I could get across town for less than $1. But it is very hot, and sometimes you have to wait for the truck to fill up before they'll take you anywhere. That's the only way they can make money. That's the only way it's profitable for them. Wow, and look, this is crazy, guys. It's like an abandoned dress shop, but all the stuff is still there. Now, can you imagine that? Like in my country, the US, and I think most countries on earth, this wouldn't just be sitting here, right? Someone would take that stuff. But here, it's just left. And so we have these mannequins with traditional Thai costume on. Who knows how long they've been standing there? A year? 10 years? I couldn't say. I wonder if this was affected by the earthquake. There was an earthquake here a few years ago that did quite a lot of damage. Many, many buildings were impacted, though I think only one building actually fell. And so maybe this used to be more of a bustling area where people rented traditional Thai clothes, and now people just leave things here. I'm not sure. You encounter lots of mysteries like this when you're walking around. Well, this is exciting. I guess I was wrong because trains do come by here pretty often. We'll see what kind it is. Is it a modern city train or one of those old gas-powered trains that we saw earlier? But when the warning bell goes, everyone has to stop. The rails come down, and everything on this small little intersection stops. And we wait. I won't keep you guys waiting though. I'll turn the camera back on when the train comes. And here it is. Looks like a passenger car. And I saw a few people in there. So I'm guessing it's one of the trains that connects the Thai cities like Bangkok to Chiang Mai or Chiang Mai to Phuket. I'm not sure what the train routes actually are. But I mean, I've been meaning to try it, right? Like, I think as a kid that grew up watching Harry Potter and taking trains occasionally in the US, trains have a certain romance. It's definitely the way I would like to travel if prices were all equal and the timing was not a factor. I would take a train everywhere I went, right? Because I imagine it as a cozy little sleeping car where I can chill and drink coffee and watch the world go by out the window. That's ideal. On one of these traffic mirrors. It's me. And it looks like here we have a kind of walking street by the construction. I'm sure the food here is really great. Locals. But otherwise, not much going on this way. So I've come to the end of this mysterious dead-end street next to the train line, and we have, I guess, all the things they use to build the train lines, right? They put one of these down, and then the tracks go along it, and that's how they lay these train tracks. So they store all the construction materials here, the rocks. I don't see the track though, probably because the track is made of metal and so it's valuable, so they can't just leave it laying around here. But at least we found a quiet spot. No traffic sounds, just the dulcet tones of my voice. And over here, a small yellow parking garage. And a few places down there that I thought were businesses, but actually weren't selling anything. They were just hanging out, I guess. And I saw motorcycles coming this way, so I know there must be a way through. But, oh, maybe it's through the parking garage. Or maybe it's by this unfinished stretch of train track. And I think this will be the end of our journey today. We started in a quiet residential neighborhood near the train station, and we've ended in a sort of liminal in-between area here at the edge of, I guess, this district. And we found a bunch of urban decay, some unfinished train tracks, a small creek, a friendly guy on a bike, random baskets and chairs thrown in a pile. In just a 40-minute walk, we've seen a broad spectrum of what Bangkok is and what most urban areas have to show us. And I think circling back would be a little redundant. And frankly, I don't know exactly where I am or what path to take next. But I like to end on a high note, and what could be higher than coming upon two mysteriously unfinished stretches of highway overpass or train line. I'm not sure which. So there's a train track running there in between. So I'm guessing these are actually for cars. Some bit of overpass that maybe they'll finish later when they feel they need it or they have something for it to connect to. I'm sure there's a whole story of urban decision making there through which we could understand why this came to be sitting here and why this road next to it is so sleepy and quiet. Why the only ones here are me, a foreigner shooting a vlog, and a few Grab drivers delivering food and using this as a clever little shortcut and cut through. Still, it's not a bad place to be. As an American, I'm used to having to walk in these awkward spaces underneath highways. You know, just to walk to the grocery store back home in Florida, I have to walk across parking lots. I have to cross streets where there's no crosswalk. I have to navigate really fast traffic, traveling at highway speeds. So I guess you could say this is my comfort zone. It's when I'm walking in cozy, cute, dense walking streets with cafes and smoothie shops where I feel like, wow, this is different. I guess I'm making it sound like I'm gonna move in here, set up a tent and make this river my new home. But not today. Today, I just want to thank you guys for sticking with me this long, hopefully making notes of new words that you heard, of English expressions I used that you didn't know, or otherwise just listened very closely and tried to take in my pronunciation, my speaking cadence, the way I phrase my sentences, all those things that comprise or make up what makes me a native speaker. So if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment. Feel free to ask me any questions if you want something clarified or explained. And otherwise, have a great day. Good luck in your English study. Bye-bye.